We're continually pushing our survey clients to look into field to finish functionality in Civil 3D. In 2010, we have more options for field to finish. If you work with the field books in the survey database in Civil 3D, that's fantastic. That functionality still exists. It's been there for a few versions now. You could still import your field books and bring in your figures and line work in addition to your points. If you haven't used fieldbook files, there's another option for automated line work in 2010, and that's what we'll talk about now. Let's go ahead and look at a sample of this. So right now I have the survey tool space open in Civil 3D 2010, and I am going to import a point file into my current survey database. So I'm going to right click on Import Events and Import Survey Data. So this Import Survey Data Wizard, this is a new feature in 2010. And you notice here, in the past we really only had the option to bring in fieldbook file points from a drawing into a survey database, but now we can actually bring in a point file. And I'll choose a PNEZD comma delimited file, and I'll choose my text file that I want to import. And I'll bring it into the existing network. And you notice here that it asks if I want to process line work during import. Well, this is a PNEZD point file. How's it going to process the line work? And that's new functionality in 2010 that we're going to talk about. So I'll click on Finish. So once I do that, you'll see it brings in the points, and it also brings in the figures. If I roll over a figure, it'll tell me what the figure is, the layer it's on, the style, etc. So how did it know to bring in the figures? Well, what it does is when you import the point file into the survey database, this import event I did, it will scan your figure prefix library that you have set current. And it will if the description for the point matches the figure, in this case RCC, then it will connect the dots for you automatically, whether you like it or not. Okay, so that's really nice, the fact that it'll look through my figure database and connect the dots automatically. If we take a look at the point file that we actually imported, you'll see it here. So it found this figure prefix, and now it's just going to connect RLC to RLC to RLC to RLC. Okay, that's great. So in addition to that, maybe we want to do some more things, and let's take a look at these line work code sets that you see here. I'm going to right click on Sample, and then I'm going to go to Edit. And you see this is where we can code some additional options. So if you didn't have a figure prefix library, you could still use figures just with like begin, continue, and end. Curves, around a curve return, for example, BC for begin curve, EC for end curve. And let's see how we can use these line work codes in our point file. So my 6th Street text, I want to go ahead and, in this case, I want to actually begin a curve at the beginning of this arc segment in the upper right hand corner, and I want to end it down here at the end. So I'll go BC, and then I'll scroll down to the point that ends it, EC, and I'll do the same thing for my TC, BC, EC. Okay, so just real simple coding there. I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to go ahead and re-import. And if you take a look on the right hand side, it automatically did an arc starting, a curve starting with the point 101 all the way down here. It did the same thing also for the magenta colored TC line. I didn't add the BCEC for the flow line, so that's why you see it with still with the straight line segments here. Let's go ahead and reduce the size of these points so I can work with this a little easier. Okay, so there you get the general idea with the BCEC and the coding. And again, we're just working with point files. We're not even working with field books. So what else can we do with this coding? Let's take a look. Go back to our PowerPoint. If you look down at the bottom left, you might have some sort of set structure that you're surveying, in this case a curb and gutter. And that curb and gutter may have the offsets and the relative elevations between the different points that define the curb, like the back of curb, top face of curb, the flow line, and the lip of gutter. They may be consistent. So in that case, do we really need to shoot all 4 points? Maybe we could shoot just a single point and have it still do the line work for the other 3 points. Let's take a look at that. Going back to our text file. So I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I don't want any of this stuff. I just want, a single point for the curb structure. And that's going to be this point right here. And you notice some coding in here, H for horizontal, V for vertical. So it's going to do these offsets automatically for me. Let's take a look at that in action. Let's save this, go back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to go ahead and re-import. And now you notice it brought in, even though I just have a single set of points for the top of curb going around here, but it still brought in all 4 lines that define the curb structure: back, top face, flow line, and lip of gutter. And that's where that coding really comes in handy. And if you take a look at the figure here, you can kind of see it subcategorizes those other the offset figures, RCC 1, 2, and 3, and highlights them in blue as I pick on them. Okay, so the line work code set's really handy. Another option for doing field to finish in Civil 3D. And then lastly, this import events is really nice. This is also new in 2010. It's kind of like a paper trail of files that you've imported into the survey database. So you can always go back and see what the date was and the time when you brought in a particular point file. And these import events are fantastic. Okay, so some new survey functionality in 2010. Thank you.